Hello, welcome to the Hopkinton Hangout Hour. Handing it over to your guest, host for the half hour, Mike Tarosian. Hi, Mike.
Hey, Jim. Thanks a lot. Hello, everyone. Welcome again. This edition here, this hour here, our first half hour. We hope to have Amy Beck and Ashley Sheehan from the Hopkinton Senior Center. In the second hour, we are going to have the coach and captains of the Hopkins Boys Lacrosse team, and Tom and I will bring you that at the 2:30. And before that happens, Matt will update us all of everything happening this week, coming on Hopkinton Hangout Hour and Binge Week as well on HCAM TV. And again, this is a conversation we want to hear from you. Please give us a shout out on our YouTube page. You can do it on our Facebook and Twitter as well, Instagram. Let us know if you have a question or you want to join us. Any ideas? We want to hear from you. So, Jim, how was your Easter Sunday?
Well, my Easter Sunday was very nice. Thank you. I was streaming the Easter service from the church that I attend, just about the exact same time that you were streaming the Easter service from the churches here in Hopkinton. Yep. So I found that to be really, really exciting and rewarding because as we've been talking about for these few weeks, it's all about community. It's all about connecting people. And this is a particular day that's very important to many people. And for them to be able to share it virtually live was just exciting.
Oh, that's excellent. Yeah. And again, it was exciting to be able to, again, connect the community in a whole different way. It was awesome to see the participation, see the people viewing at home, the churches getting their message out in this time that is all new to all of us. I mean, live programming is easy for us. You know, it's just making sure everyone has their technology at home. Normally we're setting everything up and we just put the people in front and just say, sit there, do your thing. Now we're telling them, turn on your computers, turn on your lights and change this, do that. It's a whole new thing. And it's kind of exciting, I think.
I agree. I find that I do really wish I could talk to them first and say, okay, here's the shot. Here's, check your headroom, make sure you're not too far over. And I really miss having that. But just knowing that it's live and people are just speaking with others at the same time is great.
That's great. Well, our guest just came in, and I see Ashley just turned her camera on. Need her to unmute your mic. And
yeah.
Hey,
Hello.
Ashley. Hello.
How are you doing today?
Doing great. Could you just tilt your laptop down just a little bit, lose some of this space up top here?
Why is my camera not in?
I don't know. Do you have, if you hover the bottom, where your little video camera microphone is?
Yeah, it's on.
Huh.
And we were on the other spot for the record.
You were on the other spot. Okay.
So just really quickly, Amy, to the right of the video, on the video camera, does it say stop video?
Yeah, but it's not crossed off.
Okay. To the right of that is a little up arrow.
Yeah.
And you're going to go, it says select the camera. Do you see any cameras listed there?
It says Microsoft camera front.
Okay.
And then it says video settings.
Yep. Let's click on video settings.
Yep.
Do you see in that new pop-up, do you see a square with your video in it?
I see blank.
Okay. Is it an external webcam?
No, it's on my computer.
Okay. And there's no shield or anything covering it?
Nope, I took that off.
And under camera, can you pull down? Is there any other options besides the one that you're seeing?
No. And then should it say enable? It says my video enable HD minor effect.
You can try that.
Basically trying anything would work right now.
Spotlight mode. I do not know.
Okay.
There's no little video camera next to the mic.
Yeah, there is, and it's not covered. We were just on the Google Hangouts and it was working, so I'm not really sure.
All right. Well, Amy, All I can
Yes.
say at this point is welcome to the radio show. We're happy to have you aboard.
Well, thank you. See, I didn't have to get dressed up or anything for this, right?
It's a very casual, laid back half hour, trust me.
That's right.
Well, guys, welcome to the show. We're glad you could make it. And again, everybody who doesn't know, Amy Beck is the director of the Senior Center, and Ashley is our co-director or assistant director. How they turn
That's
that?
right, Mike.
Assistant. That's right. So we've been talking on the show, if you catch any of the episodes, of just what we've been doing during this unprecedented time in America and around the world. So our seniors that we don't get to see, maybe because they don't have this technology and so forth, can you tell me what you're doing to stay in touch with the senior center being closed?
Well, Ashley's been working really, really hard to get a virtual, we call it what, Senior Center without walls. And so she's gotten a number of exercise classes, we've had some coffee hours, we have our French classes up. And let's see, what else do we exercise? French. We have some cooking classes, which you guys have taken care of for us, which has been wonderful. And she can tell you about all that, but we've got a number of opportunities for people to reach out. We've been trying to get a hold of seniors so they're not all sitting alone, home alone. But we've also been trying to get some of our classes going so that it is somewhat of a normal day for them.
So the main message we can get out to everyone here in Hopkins is that the senior center may be closed, but it's far from closed.
Exactly.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
Can you
and
tell me? Oh,
we are trying to reach out in more ways than one. We have a list of about maybe 200 to 300 seniors that staff call in on regularly just to check in with people. And I know for myself, it's a very social isolating time for everyone. And I think it's nice to hear from people. A friendly phone call really does help lift spirits, and it helps us hear from seniors, what's on their mind and how can we be a resource and help them. Aside from phone calls, we've really looked at our website, and we've added a new tab to the website. It's www.hopkintonseniorcenter.com, and we have a tab titled Virtual Programs and Services, and there you'll find links to all of the programs that we have that people can access remotely. We also have a pretty strong Facebook presence in terms of what we have rolling out. We're constantly updating our website to include more and more offerings for people to kind of stay involved, and leaning on cable as well for the folks that may not have the internet capability to keep in touch that way. So we are really trying to think outside the box to connect with as many people as we can, and just letting people know that we're for them and they can call us whenever they like.
So have you noticed that, excuse me, that you're finding seniors are now using technology to stay in touch with their family, friends, and you at the center?
I would say so. I think this whole thing has really brought families closer together. So more people are reaching out to their loved ones and friends and relatives to check in on them. I know we at the senior center, I mean, it's the best. It's such a welcoming place. Everyone knows everyone. So we really do try to keep good tabs on people and hearing how they're doing. We also have a weekly coffee hour, as Amy mentioned, on Wednesdays at 10, and certainly open to all. People can call in, they can Zoom in, just a chance to connect and see how everyone's doing and hear from people also.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing is from the moment we closed, we were really concerned about social isolation and people staying connected. And what we're finding is, families, there's a lot of people that have local families and they've been in touch and helping, but we've been calling and involved in that way. And expanding out of the programs was just one way further that we could give more to seniors and everyone else in the community. I mean, certainly our cooking classes are on HCAM, so they can everyone can take advantage of that.
So whose idea was that to start bringing these classes? Was it the instructors? Was it you? Who started all this?
I think it's really a collaborative effort. I mean, it seems as though every week we get the news that the senior center is delayed opening one more week. So it really just, thinking of that and thinking about what people are doing at home, how can we engage with the community? The more we put in effort and really thinking about the programs that we can offer virtually and have people participate at some level. I know we've been in correspondence with some of the other senior centers close by to hear from them what they've been up to, and reaching out to all of our instructors and volunteers to hear from them what they are able to do, and really all working together to get a program. As Amy mentioned, Senior Center without walls. We're not presently there, but we are here in that way.
I think that's really interesting, because I think that you are really in a situation that's very similar to HCAM situation, where we have a TV studio and we're very used to and very comfortable with bringing people in and connecting them by making TV shows. And suddenly we have to make TV shows without a TV studio. And how does that actually work? And we have found our center by really focusing on the C in HCAM, the community, and how do we connect the community? And that's where these live shows come from. So I think for you, it's the same. The senior center is such a place for connection, such a place for people to stand, to just talk and share and spend time together, that this must be really hard. And I'm curious if what type of feedback that you're getting from the seniors, who traditionally you would expect to just, oh, I'll see you tomorrow at the center. What type of feedback are you getting? In what ways are they connecting with you?
Yeah, it's certainly a hard time for everyone, as the mode of communication is different. We're not seeing people, good, in person, but certainly working hard to continue with the connection. I know I've heard from a handful of folks and they seem to be doing well. Of course, the situation is tough and difficult on everyone, but they are making the best out of the situation, and glass half full. I think the message is, let's all be positive and thankful, and the town has done a remarkable job in keeping everyone informed and updated in terms of the virus and the resources provided by the town. I think that has been excellent. So we have been hearing from folks that it's hard, but it's certainly hard for everyone, and we're making the best of it. Reaching out as many different ways as we can. I know all of the senior center staff have worked hard to keep the connection, and it may not be, we'll see you tomorrow at the center, but we'll see you, or we'll hear from you by the end of the week, that sort of thing. So just kind of reframing what we've been doing on a different.
Right.
So my visual came in, but I'm sideways on my camera, so I don't know if I'm upside down or sideways.
You look perfect now.
You look perfect. So,
I turned my laptop there so you can catch me right side up.
That's
but
great.
I think the other part that we want to make sure is that if there is a need with a senior, or if someone knows of a need with a senior, to please reach out to us. Our outreach staff has been really busy connecting people with resources as far as how to get their food, if they don't want to go out. And so it's across the board. We're still operating in the same way that we did before, except we're just not in the building. And so if there's needs for food, and resources. I don't know where that's coming from, but that's available as well. And so I think that's important for everyone to realize. We're still the senior center. We're still active. We're still there to help people. Nothing has changed as far as that's concerned, except that you can't come in the building. And we are in the process of trying to get our kitchen up and running again so that we can start to provide meals. Waiting to get a few things ironed out with that. And that's just taken some time to get that ready. So hopefully we'll be able to, especially for those that would come to us regular, we'll be able to provide a meal. So that's the big thing that we're still trying to, like I said, iron out those details.
So one of the questions I would have is, with you operating without again being in the center, how's it working with transportation needs for those necessary appointments for us, and of course the shopping that they have to do?
So right now we're not running our bus. It's very hard to socially isolate people at the moment with our drivers and with people. So we aren't. What we're suggesting is, as far as medical rides and all of that, we're asking people to look to their family first and see if they can come up with people who will take them. So we are not operating transportation yet. That may be that we'll be able to use that at some point. But at the moment, what we found is so many doctor's offices had canceled routine visits that unless there's a real emergency, people are not really going out even for medical appointments right now.
Okay.
But again, if there is a need, reach out to us and we'll see what we can do to connect them.
Right. And now, of course, your incoming funds have stopped as well from those outside events, such as the can collections, thrift shop, lunches, and so forth. How is that? How's that going to affect your budget?
Well, it will at some point. Our friends group runs a lot of those programs, and so they are obviously not collecting things, and for obvious reasons. We don't know where bottles and cans have been and where they've come from, and I think that's for a safety reason at this point. That's why we're not collecting. We'll certainly, hopefully, at some point get that program back up and running, but not for now. And the same thing with the thrift store. The thrift store is not open, unfortunately, and so if if people are inspired, we'd be very happy for donations and all of that to the Friends of Seniors, because they are our fundraisers. But it does slow things down a bit for us, absolutely. And we are still paying our instructors for the classes that they provide, even though we're not collecting fees from the participants.
Right. So hopefully, with of course this being a state of emergency and everything, that there may be some kind of reimbursements for you for some of these projects.
Yeah, we've been done pretty well. I think we have the formula grant through the state, which is funded by the number of the number of the people who have filled out the census and say they live in Hopkinton. That's what our funding is based on from the state. And so I'm kind of hoping that people, do the census so that we can have them accounted for. I know things got kind of muddled up, and so I assume that they're still working on the census and collecting that data, because for us, that's a huge part of our funding. So if you're a senior, even if you're not, but especially if you're a senior, please fill out that census, make the calls. I know that they've been doing it online. And I know at one point that we're going to send out some paper surveys, but I'm not sure if they've been doing that.
Great. So Ashley, what if we got a question from John Ritz, who wants to know, what are you hearing from the seniors about their needs and concerns?
Well, so far what we're seeing from outreach and all of that, a lot of them are doing very well. We've had a few like that have needed, don't want to go shopping anymore. And so we've connected them with community groups, and there's been a huge outpouring of support from Hopkinton community. And people want to help. And so right now, I believe they're still collecting a lot of that information, but as a senior center, if someone calls in and lets our outreach staff know, they've been hooking the people up with those groups that can help. So we are doing it the best we can. Of course, things may not go as smoothly and as quickly as they used to, but we are making sure that people are connected.
Are you
And I
finding?
think too,
Yeah, go
like
ahead.
I've heard from a few people saying how much they miss the senior center, and of course they can't wait until the building is open again. So I think people are certainly feeling a little isolated, even more so than before. So we've certainly taken more steps and to reach out to people just to see how they are doing. And like Amy said, and I've said before, how can we help? We're certainly a resource to the community.
And that's, I think, why Ashley had started up the coffee hour, because we know that there's a group that regularly meets. And so um, she has worked with the participants who come in the past. And we had a group last week, and I think it'll be even larger this week, of people who wanted to be a part of that, to call in or whatever, to call in or Zoom in, however they can make it work. And I think that's the piece that Ashley has actually walked through a lot of people through the process of how to do it. She has sent emails to people. She's also given them the contact information to phone in if they don't have some kind of laptop or video screen. And so I think um, while that is a need and we are trying to address it with phone calls, there are other avenues that we're trying. And if there is an idea that someone has, we're certainly happy to hear it. I've been approached by some scout groups who are interested in connecting with seniors. It's just, how do you go about it safely and in the right way? And so that's sometimes what we're running up against, is you have to make sure for everybody's safety that it's done properly.
All right, Ashley, let's talk about our uh, these groups that are there that help you, such as Shine and so forth. Are you finding that they are overwhelmed at this time too because they may be short-staffed, or it's just so many people now need their help more than ever?
I think the community groups are certainly troubleshooting when it comes to technology and getting people up to speed with that. I know a lot of groups are certainly reaching out, like us. I know email is a barrier for some people, but phone calls certainly suffice. Right now, we do not have Shine happening. The AARP, I believe, is still on hold, right, Amy? In terms
Yeah,
of
the tax assistance is on hold. Shine, I believe, could still meet with people over the phone. I think she has done some connections. And I know that the veterans agent is available by phone. And if you're a veteran and need to get in touch with the vets agent, certainly call them directly. And while they're not going to meet you in person, they will talk to you.
Great. All right.
You know,
So, go ahead, Jim.
I was curious. You guys have a lot of things set up, and you're doing videos and you're doing Zoom. And I think that you're doing a great job at receiving people's needs and concerns that they have. I'm curious, what type of reaction are you getting from people who don't really have any needs, but the senior center is a vibrant part of their community? How are they connecting with you, and are you, getting response from them and staying in touch?
Well, that's a good question. If you mean, are they reaching out to us? What we had done originally when we first closed on the 13th, starting the Monday, it was a Friday, was our last day open, March 13th. And on Monday, we were making calls. So we were calling all of our regular participants. We started with our regular participants. And at that point, we did not have any of the virtual stuff programming set up. And as we've added that, we've let people know. But I would say that's really how we started with the beginning, was just with phone calls. And so a lot of people who do not have any kind of media that they, or any kind of, other than maybe they can reach into cable and get information, we have started with that. We did send out our newsletter for April with a letter explaining that we weren't going to be open and our newsletter had all the stuff we had planned for April. And our May one will have our basic stuff planned because we don't know when in May if we're able to open. So we don't have anything special planned for May except our regular activities if we can open. But in that newsletter, we put a lot of information about how to connect. And you can phone into some of these programs as well, even if you're not able to visually see everybody. I know my mother lives in another community and she has an exercise class, and a lot of people have gone in by Zoom, and she's been doing this class for, I don't know, 20 some odd years. So she kind of knows all the moves, but she can still listen in on her phone as to what she should be doing with the rest of the class. So there are ways to still connect with these groups, even if you're not able to see everybody. So yeah, the message that we're getting from people is they miss the senior center, they miss connecting with people, but they know that everyone's trying to do the best they can. And I think what's interesting is I think there's less complaining in the generation that we deal with at the senior center than maybe the younger kids that you see outside trying to connect with their friends. I think seniors have said, okay, this is what we need to do. We'll do it for now. We don't like it, but hey, what else is there? So I'm finding seniors are extremely resilient in all of this. And they've been, I think, an example to the rest of us. When we're told to stay home, they stay home. Some of us, I know there are people who are still trying to get out and about and see people on the sly. But I'm finding more and more people are following the guidelines that have been presented to us.
That's great.
We also have a lot of people that are volunteering and making masks for the community as well. So certainly kudos to them for working on that project.
I tell you, when it comes to getting community together and volunteering and stepping up, everyone from the kindergartners all the way up to the seniors, everyone finds something to do in some way to help out, and it's fantastic. And that's what's great about Hopkinton, in my opinion. So
I know you're wrapping up, Mike. I just got to say one quick plug. Tomorrow's Hangout Hour, the first half hour, I have 2 college students who are very technically capable, who actually built the computers for HCAM, who are going to be on. So if anybody's looking for any kind of tech tips, that would be a good half hour to hit. And the second half hour tomorrow, we'll be talking about some favorite recipes and cooking tips. So some seniors may want to share with those as well as join in and kind of see what the conversation is.
And I want to say a great thank you to you guys, because not only have you helped us get the message out, but I know that you're doing a lot with the community and making sure that people are connected. So thank you, HCAM, for all that you're doing. And thank you for the support that you've given the senior center as well.
You guys are awesome.
Thanks.
It's all about Team Hopkinton right now. That's and it's showing, and everyone's coming through. Everyone's pulling together, so it's wonderful. Ashley and Amy, thank you again for taking time out of your day and in between all your meetings and everything you do. And hopefully we'll have you back here soon, get a little update.
Great. Thank you very much.
All right,
Stay
guys.
safe.
Take care.
Bye, everyone.
All right. And again, thank you. And next up, we're going to hear, before we get the lacrosse team in here, and Tom, we're going to go to Matt Clark, who's going to give us what is going on. Matt, what's going on this week?
Hi, guys. As Jim just said, tomorrow we have two college students who are really good, David and Chris, coming on to talk about tech tips and support. That's going to be really cool. On Wednesday, we have Chief Slammin from the Hopkinton Fire Department and Tom Keene, the high school basketball coach. And on Thursday, we have Kim Manning talking about stress and self-care.
All right.
Yeah.
That sounds great. Matt, thank you very much. And now we'll see Tom, and I'm going to let all the guys in here if I can. I don't know where there it is. So we're going to welcome Tom, and Tom's going to introduce the team. Tom.
All right. Thank you very much, Mike. And joining us now on the Hopkinton Hangout Hour, we're going to have Hiller's Boys Lacrosse Head Coach Dan Norton And we also got some of the captains here as well, Luke McDonald and Stephen Maffiori. We got Seth Jenkins and Connor Sullivan. Guys, how are you doing?
Great.
Well.
All right. And Dan, Connor, just make sure the mics are unmuted. There you go.
Yep.
Perfect.
Great. How are you?
Thanks for
Very
having
good.
us on.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for coming on. How have you guys been with everything going on? Obviously, it's unfortunate that you're not out there playing lacrosse right now, but what have you been doing to pass the time? We'll start off with Connor.
I've been able to do some wall ball and shooting. I've been doing these Zoom workouts, and then also watching a lot of movies and Netflix and playing some video games.
Terrific. What about you, Steven?
I mean, we're all pretty much doing the same thing. There's not too much to do here at home, but a lot of family time. We've been watching some movies, playing different games. Been going on bike rides, which is cool, like at the Milford Bike Path and some trails in the woods. So any activities just to keep myself busy and hope for the best soon.
How about you, Luke?
Yeah, me and my brother have been biking a lot. We're really into mountain biking. And we've been playing a lot of wall ball, just like everyone else in the team, doing a lot of chores around the house. So we're staying busy.
Excellent. And how about you, Seth?
Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of running, trying to get outside as much as I can, even though it's been raining a lot. And I've been painting my house, which has taken a lot of time. So that's kind of my main priority right now.
All right. And how about you, Coach?
Similar to Seth, I was helping at my grandparents' house. They're selling, so just helping move some stuff around last week and painting, and then we're gonna attempt to redo the floors this week. And we've just been doing a lot of fishing too, which has been nice to get out there. It's very, very relaxing, and they're actually stocking a lot in Hopkinton and around the local areas too, because they're emptying all the hatcheries from the fishing plants. So some good fish out there.
Absolutely. Maybe not the best day for catching them today. Coach, how have you been staying in contact with the players, and what is some of the reaction from them about everything going on?
Yeah, we've been doing, like Connor said too, we've been doing Zooms either once or twice a week. We also set up a Google Classroom, which we have, most of our guys in there. We have a few youth players in there as well. So if anybody's watching this, that's a youth player, and you want to get into it, feel free to just shoot me an email. I can enter you in there, or you can go on to any of our social media, just Hiller Lacrosse on Twitter or Instagram. And in the Google Classroom, we're putting in drills and daily workouts. We've kind of shifted into another program that we put in a request for to get from the boosters. It's like a all online training type of thing, so we can still have our guys play the sport that they love to play, and it allows us to interact with each other too in the classroom portion of it, and then on the Zoom. And then, as Connor was saying too, last Saturday it was awesome. We had Mike Peschler from Athletic Strength Training held a Zoom workout for us, and it was excellent. It was good to get everyone laughing and sweating together. And I'd be lying, and these guys would be lying if they said it didn't stink right now that we're not out there, but we're trying to make the most of it and control what we can control.
And for the players, could you each talk about what you miss most about just being out there on the field?
Yeah, I mean, just seeing everyone's faces, everyone getting better every day at practice, really miss that. It's really one of the more memorable things throughout the season. So,
yeah, I mean, one of the best things about high school sports is just like everyone says they love to play and you love to play sports, but one of the best things about high school sports is just like the camaraderie we all have with each other. So like whether it's with the other seniors, with juniors, all the underclassmen, just going out there every day, playing the sport we love to play with we're a family during the season. So just not being able to go out there with those guys is definitely something I miss.
Yeah, I just miss being with the boys and competing together against other towns and just trying to win, and then just putting in the work to get better every day.
I would say practice, just because the competition within the team too is really awesome, and we just try and make each other better. So it really shows on the field.
And have you guys been doing any workouts or drills to stay in shape for the potential there is this season? And we certainly hope there is one at some point.
Yeah, we have a lot of workouts and stuff in the Google Classroom that Coach and Mike Peschler have been giving us. A lot of wall ball challenges and different drills to do. So everyone's been taking full advantage of the resources we have and definitely getting better.
Excellent. And Coach, for those that don't know, could you tell us a little bit about your coaching history and when you decided you wanted to coach lacrosse?
So yeah, I started playing lacrosse as a young age. At a young age, I was a younger brother, so thank goodness my brother played lacrosse. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have ever picked it up. And I played other sports in high school too, but really just fell in love with lacrosse. Went on to play in college, and Seth's actually going to the same place next year, so go Springfield. And I loved it there. Played for an amazing coach that has really groomed a lot of high school head coaches, college head coaches. Studied phys ed there, and kind of just fell into it. I helped out at went back to my alma mater first. While I was teaching in Hopkinton, I was coaching in Ashland, and then the Hopkinton job opened up, and came over here. Been over here for 6 years now, and been coaching total for 10.
So, Dan, is there any green in that blood of yours, or is it still all blue?
Depends what day of the week it is.
Just checking on that. So, listen, I see a lot of creativity going on with all these schools, and I saw your little dance video there at Marathon and everything. Are we going to see a lacrosse video coming up?
But that sounds like a challenge. I don't know.
It could be.
We might have to do it. Yeah.
Might have to do it. You got some moves there still. You can
hey.
figure something out. I'd love to see it.
Yeah. That sounds like a challenge. That's something we can work on.
Now, as you guys were just mentioning about, here it is your senior year, and and it's not about playing the games. That's everything. It's everything in between. And what are some creative things you're doing that's helping of course, other being quarantined, making things memorable. What are you guys trying to do virtually that, trying to make things fun, even though you can't see each other? Any of you?
Yeah. So when we do our Zooms, we kind of like to start off, we've been doing definitely a lot of, lacrosse specific stuff just because, that's why these guys are here, is because they love the sport, and so do we as coaches and stuff too. But we've been starting off our Zooms with just some funny stuff, now that classrooms have gone to the Zoom level. I have some funny stories from the, elementary level where, whatever we're doing that I can share with the kids. And then, these guys have some pretty funny ones too that, I can't condone as a teacher, but some of the stuff has been pretty funny that these guys are doing.
And for the players, can you talk a little bit about your lacrosse history, how long you've been playing lacrosse, and when you first got interested in the sport? Start off with Seth.
Yeah, so my first year I think was in 3rd grade, and I actually played baseball and lacrosse. And definitely after that year, I knew lacrosse was for me, and that baseball was just too slow for me. And I fell in love with lacrosse after that, and been playing ever since.
Wonderful. How about you, Connor?
Yeah, probably I think it was like 2nd grade I started playing, but I really like baseball more. And then around middle school, I just loved lacrosse a lot more and had more fun playing it. So I switched and pretty much just continued playing nonstop after that.
Excellent. How about you, Luke?
So my dad went to Holy Cross and played lacrosse there. So ever since me and my brother were born, we've always had a stick in our hand. So we started in kindergarten, 1st grade. We've been doing it ever since. And some of the most memorable games are with these guys in middle school, and before that, just playing other towns in our select team, even before high school. So it's just it's been a long journey, but it's been a lot of fun.
Excellent. And did we miss anybody? Connor?
Yeah, sorry. So Steven's power went out, and he's having a little trouble getting back on.
Okay.
Oh, there he is. He just came back. I'm going to let him in.
That's certainly an issue today with all that wind out there. That's for sure.
I already lost half my roof already. So, That's how I started my day.
And you're still here for the show.
Yes.
It's pretty
Hey,
good.
Hey, look, you said you were born with the sticks in your hand, and I see a nice old one in the back. Is that a
Yep.
family item there?
No, I got that maybe 5 or 6 years ago. It has my name ingrained in my number 7. My parents got it for me. One for my brother as well. So that was something really special.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And we got Stephen back with us. Stephen just had the players talking about their lacrosse history. Can you talk about how long you've been playing lacrosse and when you first got interested in the sport?
Yeah, sorry, my power just went out, so I try to put up a little hotspot on my phone to get back in here. But yeah, so my dad was actually a baseball guy his whole life, so I grew up playing baseball. And my next door neighbor actually introduced me to lacrosse. I would play in the backyard with his son, so I ended up joining. I think I was 4th or 5th grade. I joined a little later than I think some of these guys did, but immediately when I started playing, I really fell in love with it. It was something I loved to do, was just like, run around and be able to play a game like that. Like, that's why I like basketball too. There's different sports like that. So I really started falling in love with it right when I started playing, and I've been playing ever since.
And Stephen, of course, you had a great run with the basketball team this season. Can you talk about what it was like to go all the way to the sectional finals this year?
Yeah, no, it was awesome. It was really, it's awesome to see your work where you start right when the season ended last year. You put that work in to start for the next year, and being in the central finals, just seeing all that work really come to fruition, and like to get there was awesome. It was really fun just being with the guys that long. I mean, obviously we didn't win, so that was tough, but just getting there, and when we were just like being at that game, like the support we had, not just from the students, but the whole town, it was really special. And hopefully we'll have the chance to do something this year in lacrosse, whether it just be play or if we have some type of playoff or something like that, hopefully try and do something like that here.
Yeah, absolutely. We're certainly hoping for at least some games this year. I know the MIAA just recently had a vote where they pretty much canceled the state tournament, but the sectionals are still a go, at least for now. So hopefully we'll have that. So one thing that a lot of high school teams, high school athletes have been doing is, especially on Twitter, sharing some of their favorite memories of their careers. So I want to ask you guys to talk about some of your favorite memories of your careers as lacrosse players. We'll start off with Coach Norton.
Honestly, as a coach, I think it's just those guys share the individual wins and stuff a little more. I think it's just the stuff in between. I think Seth was talking about it too. Just my memories are the connections made while we're stretching and talking, in between drills, the bus rides, with kids after practice. Those are the connections and the memories that I love. Just watching these boys, when we get them turn into men when they're done, and that's really special to me. So I can't really narrow it down to one. I know that's kind of a generic answer, but I think it's just the process of watching these kids grow up and being a part of that.
Is there any specific games that you coached that you could recall that were just unbelievable to be coaching at?
Probably my first one in Hopkinton. We had our original opener was snowed out or something like that. So our first game was at Ashland, where I had just head coached those kids the year before. So it was a little weird. And there was a lot more fans than there normally would be for a lacrosse game there. So, it was kind of fun. The fans were getting rowdy, and, a lot of people were mad at me, but it kind of made it fun too. And we won.
All right. So Dan, I'm the optimist. You know that. May 7th, we're going to see our first lacrosse game, right?
Yes, sir.
May 7th. And with that, how have you, because I know you're an optimist as well, and how do you have yourself prepared mentally, and how you going to get these kids ready for that May 7th start date?
Well, I mean, the motivation piece this year, like, with this group we have anyways, like, these kids are so motivated, but I think with this going on right now, if someone said, hey, we can have practice in 10 minutes, they'd be there in 1 minute. It's, we have a very special group. So I think, the motivation piece, these guys, you're looking at them right there, they do it for our team. And especially with this year, whatever we can salvage, I don't think there's going to be a single kid in any program across the state that's not coming foaming at the mouth, ready to go.
Sure.
But I think especially with our senior group, just to brag about them a little bit too, they've got in their freshman to junior year, they have the highest win total of a 3-year period in our program history. And, it's all due to, not just these 4 guys here, but this whole senior class is just very special. We got 12 guys that are, committed to our, off-season weight room stuff, community service, just a very special class.
Well, that was the other question I wanted to say with the community service part of it. To you boys, there any community service that you're able to do virtually, or is there any kind of community service work that you guys are doing now?
Yeah, so I was just cleaning out my basement the other day, and I found a bunch of old lacrosse sticks, shafts, heads, some with good mesh, some with bad mesh, and I've been stringing sticks since the 2nd grade as well. My dad taught me how to do that. So I have about 7 heads, I believe, that I'm going to string up and put some shafts on, and we'll try to get those to the youth players, some new youth players when this all clears up. But that's as much as we can do right now for community service, at least for me.
Yeah, you guys are being creative. You're doing what little you can. How about anybody else?
I've donated some food to like people in need, but can't really do a ton of community service right now. But yeah,
we've actually got a store up right now too. It just came up today, so if anybody who's watching goes to our Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, just a web store where instead of us gaining proceeds, we're going to donate it to the Massachusetts COVID-19 fund.
And what's that website?
If you just go to our Twitter at Hillary,
Twitter?
There's a link there.
Excellent.
Sorry to cut you off, Steve.
No, I mean, I wish I knew how to string heads. That'd be pretty cool. But unfortunately, there's nothing really I'm doing right now. But I'm happy. I'm lucky enough and my family's lucky enough to be healthy. So if there's anything we can do, I'm sure we'd love to.
And I want to ask you guys about what's some of your favorite memories as players of boys lacrosse. Is there any specific games or moments that were just fun or exciting to be a part of? We could start off with you, Steven.
Yeah, definitely last year we won the playoff game as well, and that was definitely a memorable one. It was our first playoff win as a group since we had joined. We had some success in the regular season in freshman and sophomore year, and then junior year, but we had never really gotten over that hill where we got that playoff win. So that win was awesome. And then something that wasn't in high school, when we were 8th grade, our senior group has been really close. These lacrosse guys we've been playing all since we were younger. So when we played 8th grade, we had a big rivalry against Franklin. They're not on the TVL, but they're that we played every year. Some of us guys know some of them, so it was always a big game, and we finally got that win that we've been looking for in our final game of 8th grade. So that was a big memory for us.
Wonderful. And I think we may have lost Seth. So how about you, Connor? Any specific memories you could recall?
Yeah, I'm probably going to have to say the playoff game last year, just because it was our first win ever. And we started off really slow and we were down. And then we just battled back and played flawless in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th quarter and ended up blowing them out. And it was just awesome to be a part of our first playoff win. And yeah.
What about you, Luke?
Yeah, I immediately thought of Westwood, the Westwood game, the away game sophomore year. We won it in the last couple of minutes. And freshman year, we had lost them a few times. So that was just a big game marked on our schedules all year, and we finally beat them, and that was just a great feeling.
Excellent. And we do have a YouTube question from one of our viewers. Matt, what's our YouTube question?
Yeah, someone watching wants to know, among you, are there any hockey players, and is there any crossover of skills and strategy between the two sports?
Well,
For us three, and Seth, none of us play hockey, but there are definitely kids on our team that play hockey. I can't really speak for experience, but I think definitely like guys that play hockey that had joined lacrosse last year, it was kind of like their first time. I feel like their stick skills were like developed a little quicker, just, having that feel with a hockey stick and kind of translating to lacrosse. Obviously not the same, definitely different skills, but just the feel for having the stick in your hand, I felt like definitely helped them cross over. But unfortunately, I can't really answer that question, but.
Well, what about you as a basketball player, Steven? Is there any specific skills or drills that benefit you playing both sports?
Yeah, whenever someone asks me like, what's it like playing multiple sports, I love it because I'm able to translate what I do in some sports and bring it to other. So I played point guard in basketball, and just growing up playing point guard, you really learn to with the vision and like unselfish play, stuff like that, and you kind of look step ahead of what the next play, and what's gonna happen if one guy slides to you, and like kind of the puzzle pieces of the game. So for me, like that was something that really helped when I started playing lacrosse and kind of started understanding a little bit more. I felt like growing up playing basketball, I was kind of able to see the game a little better, so that definitely helped me. And then different drills, I guess, that translate. I feel like kind of all translate. Kind of just take one thing from the other sport and bring it into the next one.
And Coach, so have you put together a workout type of plan that you send to all your players or anything like that?
Yeah, so we're actually so I'll do like the lacrosse end of it, and then Mike Peschler has been sharing some at home workouts that you don't need any equipment for. So it's been great. It's been very helpful just because not everyone has like a full gym set up at their house, so it's able to include everybody. And then I'll send the lacrosse specific type of stuff.
Terrific. And again, hopefully we'll see a season in the very near future. What do you guys miss most about normal life and being in school? We'll start off with Connor.
Yeah, just missing seeing people that like I not like super close with, just people in school, and just like talking to everyone, and just like seeing people besides your family and like on a video screen. So it's just kind of tough not being able to do that.
And how about you, Luke?
Well, the other day, my mom asked me to just run a quick errand, grab something from the store, and I just got so excited to leave the house. That was just one thing, like, you don't really know what you have until you don't have it. Like, just the freedom to go wherever you want and to do whatever you want. Really, I'm really missing that right about now. So,
how about you, Steven?
Yeah, I definitely feel like it really puts stuff into perspective. We've taken some things for granted. Like if you were to tell us, you have like a snow day or something, like we'd be awesome. It would be awesome. We wouldn't have to go to school. We'd be excited. But I really took it for granted because now, we might never get to go back to high school, and for us, that stinks. There's people we might not see, there's people we might not talk to, but there's people that we want to say goodbye to, and those everyday interactions that we really just take for granted are something I definitely miss.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm sure this is it's tough for everybody, but especially the seniors who may not get to see their classmates for a while. That has to be tough for you guys. Coach, what are some of the things that you miss about everyday normal life?
Just being able to see these guys, this is my favorite time of year. Feel blessed that I, get to call this a job where I get to go and hang out with awesome guys like these guys and coach with some of my great friends. coach against some of my great friends. I think our league is a very special league where we have, everyone who we coach against is always, awesome and, always good to catch up and, win or lose, it's just a great time. And, to Steve's point too, I think, there are times during a normal season where you're frustrated or this or that, but, I'd give this up for being frustrated right now with something. Definitely miss it. But I'm just so proud of these guys here and all of our kids just for, continuing to, make the most out of the situation and find a positive in it.
Well, I have to say, I miss calling games. Spring season is usually a lot of fun when you have boys and girls lacrosse, softball, baseball. It's a big, probably the most sports going on in any given season. So certainly missing calling games a little bit. Coach, I want to have you mention that what you guys are doing. You mentioned your Twitter, the Hillers Boys Lacrosse Twitter. Could you talk about that program just to get out there what you guys are doing?
Yeah, so what we're doing is through Atlantic Sportswear. It's a web store that closes on the 20th. And, obviously that company is going to be making money, but any of the funds that would have come to our program, because it's normally run as a fundraiser, 100% of the funds that would have come to us, we're going to donate to the Massachusetts COVID-19 fund. So, there's many options on there. I believe it comes out to like, I don't know the exact percent. It's around like $4 per item that would go towards this fund. And then they'll, cut us a check that our team can present to the COVID-19 fund. But it's only open for a week. It's like a strict 1 week thing. And then it just mails directly to the purchaser too. It wouldn't come to me.
And there's some very nice stuff up on that website as well. Some great Hillers lacrosse gear. So be sure to check out Hillers Boys Lacrosse on Twitter. And you guys are raising money for a great cause. And thanks for all you guys have done for the community between your volunteer efforts and all the great stuff that the Boys Lacrosse program is doing.
Thank you for having us on.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
All right, guys, stay safe out there.
Stay safe.
See you guys soon.
Too.
Certainly have to do it again, guys. Take care.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we got a couple more minutes left here. So, Mike, it has to be tough for the seniors to not be playing right now.
I tell you, it's the worst. It's gonna be tough for all the seniors because this is their last year. This is their best time. This is what all the hard work leads up to. And let's leave the sports part of it, just being a senior alone. You're gonna probably lose out on your cruise, your senior dinner, your senior dance. Juniors lose out on their proms, but all these things that that we have to do to stay alive and keep others alive. And these kids have great spirits. You see it all over Facebook and Instagram on how much they're doing to support each other. Like you said, he was looking for this. They want to give. They can't go out and do community service. So what does he do? He goes downstairs, starts restringing up some sticks, just to give to youth players. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it certainly is. And really, it's about anything you could do to help out anybody right now. And I just think he did a terrific job with that. Well, we do have shows all week long. The Hopkinton Hangout Hour every weekday, 2:00 right here on HCAM TV, as well as our YouTube page, youtube.com/HCAM TV. Tomorrow we get tech tips from a couple of very smart Hillers, and then we're going to be talking recipes. And then on Wednesday, we got Chief Slammin and Coach Keen coming on, and I'm certainly looking forward to talking to Coach Keen about the tremendous basketball run that team had this year. But we are just about out of time, so I think that is just about going to do it for this edition of the Hopkinton Hangout Hour. For everyone here at HCAM, I'm Tom Nappy. A big thank you once again to our guests. Take care, be well, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again soon. Goodbye, everybody.